everybody. It's Wednesday, which means it's time for the Super Show. You should watch us every Monday and Wednesday at 11:30. We have a great thingy. If you're watching us on TikTok, go subscribe to our YouTube channel because you can watch us on YouTube and Twitch at twitch.com/GamersHeavenPNW or YouTube.com/@GamersHeavenPNW. And
there you go.
There we go.
Can we boost the mics? I would prefer if you didn't boost them. We kind of need them for production.
Please don't steal our microphones.
Let me check. Give us a second.
Yeah.
This is the...
We're doing this. We're simulcasting, so we normally simulcast on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
And the thing that I tasked Pete with, but Pete and I have been talking about for a couple weeks, is obviously we have so many followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
We're like, well, we should be simulcasting to TikTok too. And Pete worked very hard to get permission from TikTok because apparently we didn't have the requisite start line of, hey, we can run it from a computer, and now we do. So now we can do gaming stuff from TikTok. We can do the show on TikTok Live while we're doing YouTube and Twitch.
Which I heard from Andrew that not even he has access to this tool yet. So
Yes.
thank you, TikTok, for giving us this opportunity. We will do our best to take all of the good things from it.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Bae.
So that's what we're going to do today. But we're going to jump into the Super Show. If you're interested in our live events at the store, go to GamersHeavenPNW.com. We have a new design for the events calendar, which I think is much more readable.
Yes.
It's actually really, really good. There's also like a pin version where you can see all the graphics. It looks really, really great. We do have another Filthy Casuals this weekend.
Yes.
On Saturday. We have Chaos Draft for Magic on Sunday.
On Sunday, yep.
Right?
We have a lot of things coming up. If you are not tapped into our social media, that's okay. You can always check us out on any of the major platforms, Twitter, Insta, and Facebook as well. If you have any questions, they will go to me. You will be talking to me because I'm the one who runs those things. We also have our Discord. If you're not in there, you can access that by our website as well. And it's also on our link tree, which is the Gamers Heaven PNW as well. And actually, with our website, I know we haven't plugged Durable in a couple of...
That's true. We are also brought to you in part by Durable, who is our web host. And if you go to durable.co and use the code GHeaven25, it will give you 25% off your thingy. It's a great tool because it will pre-build your website. It's an AI-driven website tool. So if you are a blogger or something like that where you won't need a website but don't have those web skills, or as Taylor says, don't remember your MySpace days.
Listen, the HTML game was strong back then, but I don't know if it really holds up now.
Yes. So go to gamersheaven.com go to durable.co and use code GHeaven25 for 25% off your subscription fee for web hosting. It's actually a really good thing, and they are actually who do our website. So if you want to see what you can do with it, go look at our website. And the back end of WYSIWYG is really good too.
Yeah.
Also, we're brought to you in part by G Fuel. With code GamersHeaven, you can get discounts on their website. We also sell G Fuel in the store.
Yes, we do. I drink far too much of it. Please come and buy some so that I stop drinking it. Thank you. Also, we do have those special exclusive Seattle shakers here as well. So if you've ever wanted a G Fuel shaker or even a protein drink shaker, come check us out. We do have those up in our store. They're pretty cool.
They are really awesome. So let's jump into the first topics today for the Super Show, and that is Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is now the fastest selling Zelda game of all time.
Yep.
10 million copies since launch.
Yep.
Hi, Nintendo. What's it like printing money?
It's incredible. Listen, this...
You've been playing this. I have not had a chance to dive into Tears of the Kingdom yet. And so, what are your initial impressions of the latest Zelda?
Okay. So, and please keep in mind, when I do play video games, it is for my decompress time, so I don't always have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, which is actually pretty good, because with this new Zelda, I get to remind myself that this game is also for kids, which means that even if I wanted to build a armored core mecha or an entire Gundam to go and fight bokoblins and whatever else out there, I can also just run around and fuse sticks together and still be able to play the game. with that said, I do kind of brute force quite a few puzzles, but that's, I think, part of the charm of the game.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. I think that the way that they have worked with the navigation of this game,
Yeah.
like there's so much of you know, jumping off of sky islands and being able to not only soar through the air, you know, you get to glide around as well later in the game. You get to do that, but also go underground. So there's also cave diving as well, and
Okay.
mining, and you get to, it's incredible. And it is, I think that they have taken the good things of Breath of the Wild and improved upon them, in my opinion. But this is also coming from somebody who did not beat Breath of the Wild. So
Is it bigger?
yes, 100%. They took
It's not the same map.
yes,
Ish?
but no.
Okay.
So they took the original map of Breath of the Wild,
Got it.
added a map above that with the Sky Islands,
Okay.
and then added a map below that
With the caves.
the caves
And the dungeons.
and the dungeons.
Okay.
So it is huge. It is almost to the point where it's kind of daunting, but they also give you the tools to be able to like go through it at your own pace.
Mhm.
Like I'm running around right now. I finally found a horse. It's great. But there are also people who are making like fully functional cars and
So
and
talk
jet
about that in a
fighters.
minute, because 10% of my TikTok feed has been taken over with videos of the
Yeah.
crazy contraptions. I've heard Fortunate Son like 15 times because people are like doing like straight up B-52
Yes.
like strafing runs on the battles. So I'm here like watching these like Tears of the Kingdoms videos of
Yes.
you know, like there's like Link straight up can
It's
build all kinds
so
of. I've
cool.
seen like walkers.
Yeah, there's like legitimate Gundams out there being built. They
I
have
saw
tanks.
Somebody built a multi-stage rocket to get higher.
Yes.
I was like, oh my
Yes.
god, you people are really going to town on this.
It's really cool to see how innovative people are being able to be given this creation tool, basically, and then just going, have at it. And it is just, it's incredible because you just, not only do you get to see how some people's brains work, right? I actually saw somebody who makes machines for a living. So what they did was they took all of their principles for their job and applied it to the game and created this entire machine that like is automated and does stuff for them. It's great. But you also get to see people who genuinely just solve puzzles with Long Bridge.
I've seen a couple of those where it's like, I just build this long thing.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of those where I said where I think the captions have been, I don't think the game meant you to solve this puzzle this way.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was talking about with brute forcing some of the puzzles. Is because of the way that they have set up the system, they have made it so that every puzzle doesn't have a wrong answer. I think that was a double negative.
No, that works. That works.
Like you can legitimately solve the puzzle in whatever way your brain is creatively able to solve it. And that is incredible.
Yeah. So somebody in the chat saying Nintendo gave everybody more creativity in this game.
Yes. Yeah.
So this, like you and I were talking about in the pre-show, the fact of the matter, like I am afraid to play this game because I have a feeling I would never ever beat it. It would be like me in Fallout 4.
And that's
Okay,
fine.
like I got stuck for so long in Fallout 4,
Making
just
the perfect place to live.
like just building the settlements and then running back and forth and fighting off raiders and
Yep.
doing stuff. Like I was like, oh yeah,
Same.
there's a thing that I was supposed to be doing that actually is kind of time sensitive. Unless you know the spoilers of the game, then it's not really time sensitive, but you don't know that at the time. It's like, it would be one of those things where, again, I would get stuck.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, so I think that's both a strength and a weakness, right? Because one, it has been actually stated with this game that like it is supposed to be played at your pace.
Right.
If you want to speedrun it, speedrun it. You can do it in what, an hour and 45 minutes, I think, was the fastest speedrun that we've had so far.
Right. An hour and 34 is the fastest I've seen.
An hour and 34. That is less time than most of the movies in theaters. But at the other end, you know, you can play this to your heart's content and still continue to not only find new content, right, but also create new content for yourself. I really think that they have come up with just like the perfect formula for this game.
So let's talk about some of the critiques I've seen.
Okay.
A lot of people still feel that the map feels very empty.
Yes, there are definitely, so...
Like long swaths where there's just nothing.
And I think that what they did was they tried to fix that by adding in, and if you don't want spoilers, plug your ears for a second, please. They added in basically like living trees that will pop up out of forests that you're walking through. There are definitely more enemy encounters that I have found, and they've tried to vary it by adding a couple of different ones. But at the same time, I am still definitely encountering, you know, the bokoblins and the slime dudes. I can't remember the names of the slime dudes. Sorry, guys. The choo-choos. There we go. I'm encountering them more than I am.
Jellies.
The choo-choo jellies, yeah. I'm encountering them more often than I'm encountering other things.
Okay.
With that said, I think that the openness of the map and with how empty it is also lends you time and the ability to be more creative with your transportation.
Which is neat. I wonder, and this kind of goes back to something we talked about on the Super Show a little while ago when we were talking about the Switch, right? So I wonder two things is, one, is this indicative of they have pushed the Switch as far as they can go, and part of the emptiness of the game is the fact that the Switch just can't handle it, right?
It's possible. I was actually theorizing a little bit because you will come across these stones falling from the sky,
right,
and like planting themselves on the mainland. And I, one, understand that it is also because we have these sky islands that have rose up, you know,
right.
so that's going to be normal. But also, I was wondering if that was also to help save rendering space, you know, because you don't have to have those stones there, but you can have them fall in and materialize as Link is coming up across them.
Right.
It's interesting. I wholeheartedly, like, with it even being as empty as it is, and seeing this game actually push the limits of the Switch, I will say that the load times are shorter than Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
There's more continuity.
Okay.
And it still runs very smooth. The only thing that I have had issues with is like trying to climb up things and the game just not catching that I'm climbing up stuff. That was literally the only issue.
So that brings me to my second question. Is this, do you think, the kind of the extent of what the Switch would be capable of? Is this kind of the peak for this console? I've looked at the graphics. The fidelity looks great. The stuff looks really good. Do you think this is probably about where the Switch caps out?
I'm wondering if they're kind of riding that line. I really do.
You know, we see this toward the end of console generations where they've optimized and optimized the code to the point where, look, we have squeezed everything out of the hardware we can get.
Right.
And
we have hardware at home.
Does Breath of the Wild squeeze, is this pretty much where they've squeezed everything out of the Nintendo Switch?
I don't know. I think that they're probably riding that line. I think that they're probably also coming up with ways to improve upon the next generation of Nintendo consoles with this game. By
the way, if you want to see that, go over to our YouTube channel and you can see what we were talking about with the Switch. That, you know, this is really interesting stuff to see what they're capable of doing with the Switch, but also, is this the end of what the Switch is capable of?
I mean, there's an argument to be made that, like, if the Switch can play Tears of the Kingdom, but it can't play Call of Duty, like, where is the...
And this is where I come back to my question about the emptiness.
Yeah.
Right? If that's one of the things that they're running into with these Tears of the Kingdom with Breath of the Wild, because I heard the same thing about Breath of the Wild, is that there's definitely whole swaths where it feels empty.
It's vast.
Right.
Right.
You know, and I know we see this with a lot of open world games, where a lot of times open world games get criticized of it doesn't feel lived in, it doesn't feel full. You know, I remember hearing that a lot about like Watch Dogs and other games like that, where it's just
Elden Ring too,
yeah.
which I loved Elden Ring, but there was definitely some parts where I would just be like, "Where's another enemy so that I can level up?" You know.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like they're probably feeling out the limits so that they can figure out what to improve.
Like we talked about last week, I think they need a new console. It's been 6 years.
Yep.
It's time, guys. So last little quick thing before we cut this way, because producer Pete's telling us to wrap it up. Aside from that, is there any other like critiques, like anything you're seeing in this game that you think is like?
I honestly, personally, do not have any other critiques. I know that I actually spoke earlier on one of our other super shows about the fact that in Breath of the Wild, and this is why I stopped playing Breath of the Wild, I got stuck up in a snowy place with no tools to get out, nothing that I could actually fix the situation with, and I actually revisited that area last night in Tears of the Kingdom and managed everything just fine. So, like, that was not only delightful, but it was also very, like, I think they learned from some of the
issues they had with Breath of the Wild.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm excited to experience it more. I literally just got off of Tutorial Island last night, so I'm very slow in my playthrough. If you guys have any other, like, critiques or celebrations about this game, definitely feel free to share. And also, guys, I know you want to torture the Koroks. Be nice to them.
They're strafing them with like straight up B-52s. It's terrible.
Sticking them on rotisserie
All right. Well, let us know what you all think in the chat or in comments and places like that. What you think. That's our thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom. Before we move on to our second segment.
What? Sounded like a what issue?
A skill issue.
Oh
yeah,
what?
probably. Honestly.
Owners need to do a live together weekly or monthly for a D&D. Real quick to address that, it's that's harder to do than you think. Again, we're all in different time zones.
Yes.
Which scheduling, because we all run the stores and everything like that, even if we were in the same time zone, would be one thing. Trying to do it when we're on opposite coasts.
With a game that is notoriously known for being hard to schedule for adults.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to.
We do want to.
We would love to do it. We just don't have the ability to do that right now.
Yet.
Give us time. We're working on a whole like media strategy here. So trust me, there's more coming. Hard to schedule is an understatement. That's true. All right, moving on to our second topic. We got some news on Disney Plus streaming schedules, specifically for Loki Season 2, which I am super looking forward to.
Yeah, you came in really excited about this.
I loved Loki Season 1. I thought it was phenomenal. Yes. I thought it was really well done. I'm also a big Owen Wilson fan.
Wow.
I love Owen Wilson. Okay.
I do too. He's wonderful.
He's great. And then we got some more stuff on some Indiana Jones. But to cover it off, we also got some stuff on the Echo series, which is actually the interesting part. So we'll talk about Loki first. Loki will kick off its anticipated second season October 6th.
Okay.
Okay. And it's going to release in the typical Disney Plus fashion of one episode per week for its entire run. And I think it's going to be an 8-week run. So that's what I think they're doing there. Because the next series to drop on Disney Plus right after that is going to be Echo on November 29th. And this is where it gets interesting, because Disney is not known for doing a full series dump.
Right.
On Disney Plus. They just don't do that. Right.
They are somebody who likes to make that weekly like congregation for the shows.
And a lot of people within the entertainment business have been saying that that's one of the reasons their shows have been really successful, right? And it's, to turn a phrase, it's water cooler talk, right? When you dump everything on there at once, you don't have that time. People just binge it, and you don't have that time for the audience where it's like, where Taylor can come in and be like, oh, I saw the show and it was really great, and build that word of mouth hype and things like that, where people are like, oh, let me catch up so that I can talk about it when we're all hanging out together at the game store, which is why we do this show. This is just all about us talking like we talk in the game store.
So you can join us.
So you can join us for the show and talk in the game store with us, even if you're not here. But Echo is dumping all at once.
So do you think this is because they are confident about the show?
I can't tell. And that's the thing, and this is kind of what Taylor and I were talking on the pre-show. I have to feel it's one or the other. They're either super confident about this show,
right,
or they are really terrified of what they made, and they're like, crap, we just got to get this out there and just be done with it.
This is our abomination.
This is our abomination. We don't know. So that's what really I can't tell. It's weird, and that's why we brought it up, is it is strange that Disney is doing that.
Alternatively, they could be attempting to try out the logistics of dumping an entire show at once, just to see how it does versus what their current model is, which is a very big possibility, especially because Echo is an offshoot of an offshoot of an offshoot.
Well, I mean, Echo's in the comic books.
Yes.
And yes, this is a spin-off from the Hawkeye show, right? Which I liked the Hawkeye show, so fight me. I thought Haley Steinfeld was adorable in that show, and I thought Jeremy Renner did a great job.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way, I hope his recovery continues to be really, really good, because this winter he went through a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
And I liked the character of Echo and her brother, Low Rent Jon Snow, in the show. And I call that because he looks like a low rent Jon Snow. I liked the character. I liked the thing. I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's coming back as Kingpin. I'm presuming he's going to have a big part in the Echo show.
Okay.
Obviously, this is going to lead obviously to Daredevil Born Again, and they're building this whole street level Disney MCU thing, which I really, really like. And that's why, again, when they were like, yeah, we're dumping everything on Disney Plus on one day, I was like, ooh, that's either really, really good or really, really bad.
I also have a wonder if, because of its proximity to the Hell's Kitchen part of the universe, that maybe they're doing that so that they can then follow suit with whatever else they produce with those characters.
The only thing I can think of, I don't know that might be it. I have no idea. But the only other thing I can think of is there's something else releasing that they haven't talked about yet in December that they don't want to run over.
Okay.
Right? Because Disney's followed a pretty predictable pattern with all of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah,
right?
they're pretty strict with it too.
It's here we have this show, it starts, and right before it ends, we drop our next one, so that there's always something new, right? They like to really have one really strong, original series rolling through Disney at all times,
right?
So they can keep people, and it's a good strategy because it's the don't unsubscribe strategy.
Well, yeah, it's the no dead air, can't be mad at us.
Right, and so they're trying to keep you from unsubscribing to Disney Plus. They're trying to keep you in the system, and so yeah, like I said, that's why this is really weird.
I am excited to see it. It is definitely... Echo is definitely one of those ones where I'm going to have to go and backtrack and watch literally 3 other shows.
For Echo, you probably only need to watch Hawkeye, which is only 6 episodes. It's a super short miniseries.
Okay.
And they're all short episodes. They're less than 40 minutes each.
Okay.
Do we think Disney's going to do something with Venom? They can't. As long as Sony holds the rights, they cannot do anything with Venom.
Yeah, they can't touch Venom yet.
Venom 3, they just announced some casting stuff on Venom 3 this morning. I wasn't going to touch on it, but since someone asked. Somebody is coming in to... who did they bring in? Oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor is joining Venom 3, which
Ooh.
I love, and I'm probably messing this for. Chiwetel Ejiofor is literally one of my favorite actors. He is great. He's everywhere in a lot of places. He is an MCU veteran. He played Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So now he's going over to the Sonyverse to do something with Venom. So I don't know what role he's playing. I don't think they've said what role he's playing, but Chiwetel Ejiofor will be joining Venom. So, yeah, Echo, you only need to watch Hawkeye to get Echo.
Right.
And she's very important in the Hawkeye series.
All right.
So, yeah. A lot of people want more Venom. Venom has been one of the more successful ones that Sony has done in their Spider-ish verse thingy.
It's a very cool concept.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Tom Hardy Venom's been done really, really well.
Yes.
On other news for Disney streaming, the only other thing they released today, and by the way, so for those of you who've been like, the you must watch this to consider yourself culturally relevant, right?
I'm already feeling a call out coming.
Okay. To build up hype for the new Indiana Jones movie, May 31st, all of the previous Indiana Jones movies will be on Disney Plus. All 4.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm only going to watch the one that I like. Got it.
But for those that have been missing out on some Indiana Jones, you can watch it on Disney Plus on May 31st, which I think it's good that they're just dumping all of them on there.
Yeah.
It's probably a good idea, especially about that. As well as, by the way, you want to talk about like classic, The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones.
Oh, that'll be good.
Which is also coming to Disney Plus.
That's exciting. I hope they cast the actor that I think they're going to cast.
No, they're taking the old 90s show.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah, they're re-releasing it on Disney Plus.
Ooh. Okay.
I loved the original 90s show, and there was also some great Harrison Ford cameos in that show.
Yeah.
As old Indy. I loved it. Crystal Skull's the best. Are you
Exactly.
Are you trying to start a flame war in the comments? What is wrong with you?
Also, TikTok asked when the new Spider-Man game comes out, and that is fall of 2023. I'm sure that as we get closer to those dates, we'll probably get that.
Just moved over to Twitch to ask the question, am I going to play the new Spider-Man game? Yes, I will play the new Spider-Man game when it comes out.
What? No, Crystal Skull is the best.
We're going to have a fight in the comments section on this video.
If you would like to fight me, you can come to the store and we will go to the Wendy's parking lot. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll play the new Spider-Man game. So again, kind of back to original thing. Just bet right now, just off the top. Do you think they're dumping Echo all on Disney Plus on one day because they love it or because they're really, really worried about it?
I feel like they're underestimating what they have made, and that is why they're dumping it all at once. But with that said, I do want to give space for this show to be really good.
Look, I want it to be really good.
I am excited for this.
The person that they got to play Echo did a phenomenally good job. She was wonderful. I love the concept. Again, I thought Hawkeye was pretty good. Somebody else is saying they're pushing back some Disney shows to avoid oversaturation.
I think that's
possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, chat's seeing that it's not going to be super popular.
I was told not to choose to die on this hill.
I don't think Disney is worried about oversaturation at this point because they don't release enough. They just don't. This is not Netflix where they're dumping everything.
And see, I actually have a differing opinion here because I always feel like Disney is just like, oh, hey, another new show. Oh, hey, another new movie. Oh, hey, we got another show coming up. And it's not, I'm not upset with it, but I definitely kind of feel fatigued. But that's also because I'm trying to keep up with other streaming services on top of it, too.
Yes, and there is only so many hours in the day.
Yes, that you can be conscious. Yes.
So we say good they didn't pull a DC and just scrap it. DC's not the only one that does that. But here's the thing. There's reasons. These studios don't like taking markdowns on this stuff. I would say this, if Loki's ready, I think they should release it sooner. I have a bad feeling about Loki season 2.
Why?
Because I think it's going to get caught up in a lot of outside issues with Jonathan Majors. And I think that waiting till October is a mistake.
Honestly, that does bring the question of why are they not dumping all of Loki like they're dumping Echo?
I think that they're very, very confident with the scripts and stuff that they've got for Loki.
But if they are worried about the outside issues, kind of like where we have like The Flash, right? Where they ended up having to wait in order to recontextualize some of the actors.
Yeah.
Like, and putting it out there. I'm asking it from that standpoint, like, if we do have outside issues and we do have, you know, the real world context parts of it, like, where do you think they're headed in trying to handle that, especially if they're releasing in October, one episode at a time?
I don't know. I think Disney, again, and we talked about this off stream, I think Disney's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, and I don't think they know where to move with this. To answer a question from Twitch chat, no, I don't think, because they're not getting the backlash on this one that they've gotten from other ones, and here's the thing, Disney doesn't really care. They really don't.
I mean, like, Disney is standing their ground pretty hard.
So
right now.
I don't think Disney cares about any of the trolly comment sections when it comes to Echo. I don't think that's part of their calculus here. Again, that's why this is so weird, is that this doesn't fit their normal calculus. It doesn't fit their normal methodology. So I don't know what they're thinking. But let us know what you think down in the comments and other places. Come into the store. Argue with us. Argue with Taylor about Crystal Skull. With multiple people in the chat. Like, you started a thing.
Listen, you can be mad at me all you want. I'm allowed to have my opinions, and I objectively think that is in my personal opinion, that is my favorite Indiana Jones movie. So you can fight me about that all you want, but I'm really going to be very stubborn about it because that's my opinion. Like, that is, is my favorite movie.
Now here's
from
the thing.
Indiana Jones.
Here's the thing. I did not hate Crystal Skull. Okay, I am not in the group of people.
This is the worst one.
No, here's the thing.
Amy, I know you do.
Here's the thing. If you look at it in the context of what it was supposed to be,
yes,
right, which is the pulpy stuff, and so moving to the 50s, having it be
so well done.
The Soviets and the communists, and have it be aliens and things like that, like it actually makes sense.
Yes.
In the context of what Indiana Jones was supposed to be.
Yes.
The only thing I did not like. The sequence that pulled me out of the movie the most was the swinging over the the monkeys.
I'm not saying it is a perfect movie.
That was bad.
I'm not saying that Crystal Skulls was a perfect movie. I am just saying, again, it is my favorite out of all of them because of many reasons. So,
and that's totally fair.
Fine.
By the way, folks, before we jump into our next segment, if you have any specific questions, leave them in the chat. Producer Pete is grabbing those, and we'll hit those at the end of the show.
Good.
So you can redeem channel points. And don't forget, subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitch. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us everywhere. GamersHeavenPNW.com, and you can get to all of it.
Yep.
All right. So a rumor has come out. We know that Dave Filoni is making a Star Wars movie. They announced it.
Okay, is this going to be one of those ones where they write the script and then have Dave Filoni be fired? Because that's, I'm a little salty about that.
I don't think they're ever going to fire Dave Filoni. All right, if Dave Filoni leaves Star Wars, it will not be because they fired him. It will be because he quits.
Right.
So Filoni, and they said it's going to be the culmination of all the TV series that him and Favreau have worked on. So. Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all of them are coming into play.
Okay, I'm really excited about this now.
Okay, so here is the question.
Bringing back Ben Solo.
So here's the rumor, and this person is known for scooping, and it's on CBR today. No confirmation yet, so take it with a grain of salt. But supposedly, and we know Thrawn is the big bad of that movie, and we know Thrawn's coming, right? Because we got some hints of that during Mandalorian.
Yes.
We know Ahsoka. We saw the back of his head.
The back of his head.
Supposedly, the title of this film is Star Wars: Heir to the Empire, and this has This has the internet abuzz. Internet abuzz. Why? Because the original Thrawn trilogy that was written by Timothy Zahn in the old EU was the Heir to the Empire series.
Right.
Right? And so the fact that they are calling this Heir to the Empire makes everybody go, A, are they actually going to call it Heir to the Empire? This is, again...
B, are they recanonizing?
How much of it are they recanonizing?
Yeah.
So obviously Thrawn has been recanonized. Nagar has been recanonized. To answer Twitch chat, yes, Ezra has to be coming back too, because Ezra disappeared with Thrawn in Rebels.
Right. And Sabine will be making an appearance.
Here's the thing. I don't know. I think that I don't know. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing about Heir to the Empire. And I both do and don't want them to recanonize some stuff from the Heir to the Empire series. So first off, in the old canon, the Heir to the Empire series is where we were introduced to not just Thrawn, but more importantly, Mara Jade.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Who in the old EU ended up becoming Luke's wife and gave birth to Luke Skywalker's son. Obviously, with our new thing,
that's not how that works.
That's not how that's going to work. Probably, we think. So I don't know how much they're, right, Jorah Sabaoth, right? Obviously, again, we have Nagarai. Are they digitally recreating everyone or recasting? Can you be more specific about that?
For the Star Wars movies?
For the Star Wars movies? Most of that casting's already done. If it's a Star Wars movie, it'll end in disappointment like all the others. I disagree. I think Rogue One was great.
Oh,
Rogue One was phenomenal. Episode 7 was fine. Episode 8 was, and Episode 9 was them not knowing what they were doing. We've been down that road before.
Yeah, I'm also kind of in the minority of, like, I didn't watch 8 and 9. So, because I was just like, meh. Sorry.
How much should he, like, just straight up recanonize the whole thing? Or go really heavy on recanonizing it? Or should they try and do something new?
I think that they should bring in some elements of the Heir to the Empire. Yeah. But I also do very much appreciate that there have been a lot of, like, they'll recanonize something, but then they'll bring in different
elements of it.
Yeah, the elements of it, or even just, like, different perspectives from that as well. So, especially with Filoni and Favreau having worked together in such close quarters for such a long time, I'm excited to see what they do, because they have artfully recanonized a lot of things, but they have been very picky about what things and what threads they're pulling in.
And that's the thing, and they've definitely taken some inspiration from the old EU on Mandalorians and the Mandalorian culture. We obviously got Thrawn back, and if you haven't read them yet, Timothy Zahn did write not just 3 new, but 6 new books.
He rewrote them and added 3 more.
Thrawn. Andor was great. So far, Disney has done, hour for hour, they've done a really, especially with the TV stuff, they've done a really good job with Star Wars on the TV side. This is their chance to rewrite the future, get rid of those god-awful sequels. If you think that's what's going to happen, I think you're going to be sadly disappointed. It's not going to happen. They're not going to. Yeah, we talked. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh, Chris, I am happy to talk about that. We can brush on that topic.
Well, we're going to brush on that topic. A lot of people have been calling for Kathleen Kennedy to be fired. The best information I've seen out there is that Kathleen Kennedy will be out in the next 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
I think they're letting Indiana Jones come out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then once Indiana Jones releases, they will announce that she is leaving Lucasfilm.
Okay.
And to anybody who's mad about Kathleen Kennedy and why did Disney hire Kathleen Kennedy? Was not hired by Disney.
Right.
Everybody who gets mad about Kathleen Kennedy is like, why did Disney do that? Disney didn't. George did.
Ooh.
Okay? George hired Kathy Kennedy.
So in order to be mad about Kathleen Kennedy, then you
gotta
have
be
to
mad
be
at
mad
George.
at George Lucas.
Also,
somebody just popped into TikTok chat and was like, Book of Boba Fett was bad.
I liked Book of Boba Fett. It
So
was fine.
I can understand if you were looking for
Something
like
different.
lightsaber, flashy, Jedi, no emotion, whatever with that. I get it. I can see why you don't like it. But I also do want to bring up the fact that Book of Boba Fett got to explore Boba Fett in a different genre. The only gripe that I have is the fact that, you know, Din and Grogu kind of took over the
For a
last
couple
few
days.
episodes.
For a couple days.
But like that was for setup, and I understand why they did that. I am still a little upset about that because I really like Boba Fett, but yeah.
I didn't dislike Book of Boba Fett. Coming back to somebody in the other chat, because they're calling it Heir to the Empire, are they bringing Mara Jade? I don't know. I love the character of Mara Jade in the books.
And the concept of her too. Yeah.
She was an exceedingly important character in the old expanded universe. I don't know. I think if they were going to bring back Mara Jade, we would have seen something by now, especially if they were going to bring back Mara Jade the way that she was, right?
True.
If her origin and her baseline was going to be the same as it was in the old expanded universe, I really think that we probably would have heard about it by now in some of the other media that we've seen from Star Wars. Because with the Thrawn stuff, the way that they recanonized Thrawn, his origin is no different. Everything about him remains basically the same until you get to Rebels, right?
Where they kind of start shaking it up.
And actually, the way that they do it in Rebels makes a lot more sense than the way they did it in the old novels, because in the old EU, they had to explain why was this super awesome, you know, best tactician in the galaxy, you know, sidelined during the battle for the second Death Star, right? And they didn't know. And so it was a really weak reason why he wasn't at the battle for the second Death Star.
Yeah.
And so when they recanonized it, the way they got around that was they were like, all right, he is sucked into the unknown regions for some period of time with Ezra.
For some reason.
For reasons, and that's where we're do that. The other one I'm curious about is George Sabouth, and that's the other thing about Heir to the Empire. And I think actually, okay, now I think I understand a chat question from earlier.
Which one?
Are they recasting or digitalizing? Here's the thing, because in the Heir to the Empire series, it's not Sabine and Ahsoka and all them.
Right.
And Mando. It's Luke, Han, and Leia. So, how do you remove Luke, Han, and Leia from the fight against Grand Admiral Thrawn?
They have already found an actor who looks like young Luke.
And
young...
Obviously, Mark Hamill is not opposed to them digitally de-aging him.
Right, but they... Okay, this is something that I found on Twitter, actually.
Are you talking about Sebastian Stan as Luke?
No, there was... So the actor who ended up playing as the de-aged Luke literally looks like young Mark Hamill. So why don't they just have him act? You know? And we already have somebody who looks like a young Harrison Ford. All we really need to do is find somebody who looks like a younger Carrie Fisher.
They won't bring back Alden Ehrenreich again.
No?
No. Not after the reception. And here's the thing. I think he did the best he could with the material he had.
Right.
But trying to fill Harrison Ford's shoes, which is why I think they're going with digital DH Luke, Mark Hamill as Luke in the shows.
That makes me so upset. Why can't we just give new actors like the ability to like breathe life into the younger characters, as it were? Why do we have to continue to compare them to the actors who originally established the characters? Like on the creative side of it.
So I think one of the chat, I generally agree with you.
Yeah.
I think chat's probably right. It's writing your characters. And so my guess is, even if they do a kind of a baseline of what Heir to the Empire was in that series, in that book series, or take a lot from it, I think it is going to revolve around the characters that they have, which is Ahsoka and, you know, Sabine and Ezra and Mando and things like that.
We'll see.
So there you go. Hot take, why not reboot it? I've heard... So you are not the first person to bring that idea up.
Yeah.
Especially when we talk about remakes.
Yeah.
The original Star Wars came out in 1977, which
Yep.
was almost 50 years ago.
Yeah. Holy crap. I all of a sudden feel ancient.
Yes. I want them to remake 1 through 6. Reboot the whole series or do an old product one.
Power Rangers.
Okay.
This is a
Wow.
I'll be honest, and I'm going to do the short version of this. I think that they would have a bigger rebellion on their hands from the fandom trying to rebuild Star Wars from the ground up, as somebody in the chat saying, remake 1 through 6 with new actors and then do the Zahn trilogy right out of the book.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly think that the fandom would lose its mind.
I mean, the fandom already lost its mind when they decanonized quite a bit of the EU.
All of the EU
Yeah,
and started over
and the
again.
AU as well. Like they very much, and I used to be one of them too. They very much like created kind of an incendiary atmosphere for a lot of the fandom with Star Wars.
We talked about this on the YouTube channel too, so go back and watch that one. They are doing an Old Republic movie. One of the movies that's on the docket right now is the Origins of the Jedi.
Okay.
So they are doing that. They're also doing a High Republic one with that's going to take place 100 years before Episode 1.
Ooh.
That's going to be Acolyte. It's going to be the Sith. No. We have to keep the Ewoks. Somebody's saying get rid of the Ewoks. And
You can't get rid of the Ewoks.
You come to the store and fight me. Okay? Like, I love the Ewoks.
I'm surprised you didn't go after the Gungans. You went after the Ewoks? Really?
Remake the Ewok movies. I would totally let them remake the Ewok movies.
Yes.
Let's recanonize those. Okay, Battle for Endor was...
Make an entire Jar Jar Binks movie then too, huh?
Yep. Okay. Somebody else in the chat. I'm here for all Star Wars content. Even the worst Star Wars content is better than most franchises. And here's the thing. I generally agree with that. And again, Dave Filoni is like the apprentice of George Lucas. So I think the movie's going to be good. Again, it being called possibly Heir to the Empire is really the thing. So anyway, let us know what you think. We went way past on this one.
Past one. A droid movie would be cool too.
I think Pete's going to end up having to edit sections of that out. Don't forget, if you're watching us in the various places, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. It's free. We're trying to beat the algorithm. So if you haven't subscribed to us in those places, we would really, really appreciate it. Let's dump, because we're at 12:30.
Yep.
Let's dump the fourth plan topic and move on to chat.
This is a quick one, making me ask.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that one first. Is there any news about Lorcana? We applied to be a Lorcana
ambassador.
and also we applied for our
LGS.
official LGS status with Lorcana.
We haven't heard anything.
They released a how to play on YouTube.
They sent us a kit, basically, from what I understood. That included like the how to play and the kind of brief overview.
Yes.
But we're all kind of waiting.
We know when it comes out.
Yeah.
We know some stuff. I'm hoping that we get some more stuff for Lorcana soon. But I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of like teasing it out. So, again,
I just hope that they don't run to the wire and then kind of drop the ball.
We've talked about this a bunch of times. I think it's really going to come down to how good is their organized play?
Right.
How strong is their release schedule?
How well are they actually going to support the LGSs? Like they have already stated their intention is to be.
Right, and right now, it looks good, but I'm waiting.
Sorry, I'm laughing at it.
It's about Disney being Disney. Disney do Disney.
Disney do Disney.
Disney do Disney. Yeah. That's what they do.
Just doing Disney things.
How will they handle power creep? That's a good question too on Lorcana.
Yes.
All right. Lord knows they've got IP for days.
Oh yeah.
They can be re-releasing cards and doing stuff for a long time. They have so much material in their vault that they're like, come for us.
Right.
You know, we
got
it.
this.
You know, I actually think it's probably better that we know next to nothing about it, because I think that probably, at least for now, I think that's probably good. I don't want them to oversaturate what's going on.
Well, especially with a lot of the other TCGs that kind of have their heyday in the summertime.
Yep.
You have, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic all kind of converging in on the summer months. So having Lorcana come out in the fall, in August, will give them kind of that spot to have a spotlight on them.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see. They tried to make it as simple as possible, which means they're probably trying to angle for kids to be able to pick it up really easily, as well as families, which makes it a family game.
They can make Hercules, Villain, Jafar. Exactly. There's so much you can do with that. The Maleficent Dragon card does look really great. So that's what we know.
Yeah.
Again, if you have any topics, drop them in the chat, and Producer Pete will grab them. Do you want to talk about this Overwatch 2 thingy?
Yeah, so it was brought up in Twitch chat.
We talked about it in pre-show, and we're like,
Okay.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let me see if I understand this, because I am not an Overwatch stan.
Yeah, let's take it from your point of view really quick, so that I can...
They're like, with Overwatch 2, we're going to do... They tell everybody, Blizzard says to everyone, we're going to do a PvE campaign, series of missions, something along those lines that's not strictly PvP, because Overwatch 1 was strictly a PvP shooter, right? So they're like, for Overwatch 2, we're going to do PvE.
With skill trees, with the ability to play with friends.
Right. Specifically PvE. Now, Overwatch 2 did release, but it didn't have that in there, right? And a lot of people, as I recall, the feeling during Overwatch 2's release was, this is Overwatch 1.5.
Yeah, it's a reskin of Overwatch, and they killed the original Overwatch to just then service Overwatch 2.
Right. So there's that. Now, they have now canceled the PvE campaign and been like, we're probably going to do something with it later, but don't hold your breath.
So basically, from what I understand, is they have tied the releases of PvE content, instead of actually making a PvE campaign like was promised, they have tied specific special missions of PvE content to the Battle Pass.
Okay.
In Overwatch 2.
But it's not going to be a campaign.
Nope. It's basically...
Producer Pete's behind the desk shaking his head disappointingly at Blizzard.
This game used to be our game to play together, so it does kind of,
it hurts.
It hurt when Blizzard came out with all of the awful things that was happening there. It hurt with all of these things, and now this is just kind of like stick a fork in it, it's done kind of situation, at least for me. They produced all of the hype around the PvE campaign stuff. And that is the only reason why a lot of the players and player groups that I have seen speak about this kind of gave them the forgiveness pass for just releasing a reskinned Overwatch with Battle Pass. So I don't think they plan on doing anything.
Actually doing like a real PvE, because
I think
chat's saying that they do PvE stories, that's like events.
Like Junkenstein's Revenge. So they've reskinned Junkenstein's Revenge since they created that PvE content. And that's been 6-7 years, Pete?
What?
Junkenstein's Revenge?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So they basically, I think, are going to stick with that formula instead of trying to make an entire campaign, which really is sad because they also promised a lot of backstory and lore and stuff like that included in with the characters they were going to have in that. So it's, which is also very sad because Overwatch, the way that they gained hype when they were releasing the original game was to introduce their new heroes with backstory and new lore, and it was always just like a really cool celebration when those YouTube videos came out and you were like got to sit down with friends and be like, okay, all right, so this is Bastion, you know, and this is what's happening here. Or hey, look, there's another character that ties in with this character because you see this reference. It was really cool. They were building their own like MCU basically, but with YouTube shorts. So
no skill tree anymore. Stop working on Overwatch 1. Killed to make PvE. Now aren't doing that anymore.
Yep. It's rough.
So here's what I'm going to say to kind of to tie this out. I expect nothing from Blizzard anymore.
Yeah, basically. Why do you think I'm pushing for new management under Microsoft?
Any expectations that I had for Blizzard? Thank you, Pete, for grabbing that. Yes,
Yeah.
Latino Gamer. We're going to talk about that in a second. Any expectations I had from Blizzard died a long time ago. I think, and here's my hot take. You guys ready? Do you know why Blizzard does this? Do you know why this keeps happening? It's World of Warcraft. They don't give a crap about anything because WoW is the money hole, right? WoW's been out for what, 19 years, 20 years now, right?
Next year will be 20 years.
Next year will be 20 years, okay? Here's why. They don't care about anything else. Not really. Not with any significant level. I have yet to see a release hailed as good in any way, shape, or form from Blizzard since WoW came out.
Yeah,
The closest you would get to that is maybe, and there were still people who were upset about the structure that they released StarCraft 2 in, right? Because they did, it basically is 3 separate games that stacked on top of each other, right? Because each campaign was a separate freaking game and they didn't come out at the same time.
Nope.
So like you played through the human one, you had to wait another few months. So as long as WoW is continuing to just print them cash, right?
Yep. They don't care.
And the thing is they're like, well, if everybody leaves Overwatch, so what? We'll shut it down.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, they just don't care. WoW to Blizzard's like crypto to investors. Yeah. Basically, if it doesn't go 50x, they don't give a crap. And that's really what this feels like to me, is another time of Blizzard's management
Mishandling.
just being like, well,
Whatever.
And I'm sure it comes down to the Overwatch dev team said, hey, it's going to take us this long to do it, and this is how many devs we need to do it, and this is what it's going to take. And Blizzard went,
Nah.
how much money is this going to generate? Not that much more. No. Like, that's what it feels like to me, you know?
This is honestly, like, this makes me feel better about having gotten rid of Blizzard altogether on my computer. And I begrudgingly re-downloaded it to try Overwatch 2 just so that I could have the ability to have context, especially when speaking on these things.
Yeah.
And I have not played more than 45 minutes. It's garbage. I can't. I literally, like, I played the beta until they shut down the servers from start to finish, you know, of original Overwatch, because I love that game. And the community that it originally built around it was awesome. And there were, you know, of course we saw the problematic things that came out of it. And that's actually why I got rid of Blizzard anyways, even though I've played Diablo for years, you know. And so, like, it's just kind of another nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah, and this also comes to another article that I was looking at this morning. And, like, Blizzard comes out and promises Diablo 4 is not going to be broken on launch day. Here's the thing. I remember when 3 came out, you couldn't get in on launch day. Like, good luck.
No, you couldn't.
Right? I mean, I saw people in 8, 9, 10-hour queues on launch day for Diablo 3. And you're trying to convince me, Blizzard, that you give enough of a crap to have that not happen for Diablo 4 on launch day. I legit am probably going to try and play Diablo 4 on launch day, and I'm almost 100% convinced I won't get in.
Have fun. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, enough of Blizzard's nonsense. Let's skip to the bottom topic because it's going to be fast. Because we'll end on that anime one, because that can be just chatting as we leave.
Heck yeah. We can switch them up.
Universal dropped its first FNAF movie teaser. What are your thoughts on the Five Nights at Freddy's being made into a movie? I am unsurprised
I
wasn't
also surprised.
I wasn't surprised when they announced that they had optioned the rights to make a FNAF movie. Didn't surprise me at all. FNAF's an extremely successful franchise. Scott Cawthon, who, by the way, this was not his first game. He released all kinds of indie stuff before FNAF, and this was just the one that
really took off. Yeah. It went from a cult following to just a large, massive following, which is pretty cool.
It's cool and good for Scott Cawthon. I have no beef against Scott Cawthon, and I've watched every game theory video about FNAF lore out there.
I was just gonna ask. I know you come in and talk about FNAF lore really, really heavily, but like,
I joked that our carpet in the eSports area is our FNAF carpet, and I need animatronics jumping out of the walls now.
No, we do not need animatronics. Please do not do that.
I have played some of FNAF stuff. Again, they're all simple gameplay stuff. The first one was brilliantly designed.
Yeah.
Just as a horror game. I'm not a huge horror person, so jump scares are annoying to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I watch people play FNAF. I cannot play that game.
I watched the teaser. It's a teaser. There was nothing in the teaser that, again, I was like,
this is different.
This is different. The animatronics look pretty good. Mm-hmm. Right?
I feel like this is gonna be a gimme.
It's a teaser.
I'm excited for it. I think it's interesting. It will be interesting to see what they work in.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they do it. If it makes any money and they make sequels, because if you're doing just a single FNAF movie, like, it's only gonna do so much for him because the lore is super deep and intricate. It's taken him, 12 games or something like that to even get to the point where they are now. And I tend to agree with Pat where I think he started out with kind of a baseline story for FNAF.
And then it kind of fleshed itself out.
And also I think that's why some of the lore's been inconsistent, why timelines are argued about and things like that, because it wasn't until the third or fourth game where he was like, well, crap, now I got to make this an internally consistent narrative.
Right. These were just supposed to be scary games I enjoy making.
Yeah. So trying to make an internally consistent narrative is hard.
I'm wondering.
So supposedly the books are not canon.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yes, to the games. They're add-ons, and they're there to give you kind of hints about kind of how things function. But my understanding is they're not canon to the games.
So I'm wondering if this movie is going to be the beginning of video game movie booms, because we had Last of Us saw really good success.
Super
Mario saw
join the
really
$1 billion club.
Success. I think this is going to be the beginning of everybody kind of just like, okay, well, I like this video game. Let's make it into a movie.
I mean, they've been buying and optioning rights for video games for decades now.
Yeah. The Witcher. Assassin's Creed.
I think what's really happened is that the studios finally figured out how to make the translation.
Yeah.
I think that's what they struggled with for a long time, is that the people who make movies didn't really understand video games.
Right, because they weren't playing the video games. They were just making the movies.
Right there. See, that's the fact. Is I think when they first started making video game movies, the guys who were making movies weren't video game players.
Right.
The current crop of directors and producers and things like that actually are video game players.
Right.
They're people who grew up with video games. So
Right.
they have a deeper understanding
Yeah.
of this is a video game.
Club Penguin, the movie. We got a Neopets game coming out.
I heard they're making a Minecraft movie.
Yo!
So yeah.
Doom. Apparently. No.
So Doom was not very good. And again, I think it's before. And again,
but see, that was also before we had kind of figured out that translation. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is we do have video game movies in the past, but they were also they didn't have that connection. So because we have kind of grown into, those of us who grew up playing video games are now old enough to be producers. We are old enough to be showrunners. We are old enough to be directors.
Bingo.
So, we have that knowledge of playing those games so that we can make that work for the
Answer
general
some
audience.
chat questions. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to remake Assassin's Creed.
BioShock show?
Yeah, there's a BioShock show.
Yes.
And actually, this will lead us into our final topic today, because somebody said, why can't they do live action anime? And somebody in the chat earlier asked, what do we watch anime for? Why? What genre? And I think that those are
Connected.
Okay, because I don't watch anime for the same style of entertainment that I watch a movie or a TV show for. And I think that that's really hard, because the stuff that anime does well just doesn't translate to live action.
Well, that's because there is a lot of suspension of disbelief in anime, right? You get isekai'd by Truckun, and you go and live in a world where you're a slime.
And
how are you going to make that live action?
I think a lot of it comes down to, and I watched a really good video on this the other day, because they were talking about, and it was actually in the subject of YouTube thumbnails, but same thing applies here, which is that it's not a suspension of disbelief, it's a desire for the absurd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
and
that's what anime is. I watch anime for the absurdity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I love the absurdity of anime.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is just fucking absurd.
Well, and there is a lot to say and speak to on the point that, like, in anime, you have expressions and the way that they, bend reality in anime. You can't make that be
in live action.
In a
it
live
doesn't.
action.
Yeah,
like, our faces can only move so much.
It becomes very uncanny valley when you try to do that in live action, which is why I don't think it translates well, because anime is absurd, and that's what it's there for.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine somebody trying to make a live action One Punch.
No.
It would be just wouldn't.
It just doesn't work.
With that said, I will say, and somebody actually spoke up in Twitch chat, I haven't seen the Death Note live action, but I do remember watching the Rurouni Kenshin live action and actually enjoying it.
They're currently remaking Rurouni Kenshin as an anime.
Interesting. I mean, Trigun has seen a very wonderful renaissance, and I am excited about it.
So I've heard mixed reviews on the Trigun one.
Yes, I know. And
I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to go watch it at some point, because I am a huge Trigun fan.
Yeah. I mean, I also was a very big fan of the Cowboy Bebop live action, because I feel like they did, with the limitations of being a live action, they did very well. And if you want to be upset with me for that opinion, we can fight about it. I don't care.
So somebody brought up in the chat too that, like, the new Creed movie, a lot of it, in Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan took a lot of inspiration from anime.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, the reason that worked. You couldn't tell. If you never watched anime,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know that they were he was taking inspiration from how anime fight scenes are filmed to film a live action fight scene, right? And he took homage from it, he took inspiration from it, but he didn't try and recreate it.
Right. He wasn't sitting there, right? He wasn't trying to sit there and power up for the first 90 minutes of the movie.
Okay, like, that's not what he was doing. But again, so that's why I think it doesn't translate.
Full Metal Alchemist live action. See, and I heard, that it wasn't
arguably terrible, but I loved it.
Right.
I heard it was so bad it was good.
You can love it for the fact that it is paying homage to your favorite anime. That's okay too.
Live action Bebop was awesome. Live action Bebop, some of the weird writing choices aside, I actually thought visually it looked great.
It was cool.
I thought it looked awesome.
Very cool. I didn't expect it to be the anime rewritten as live action. I literally went into it going, okay, I want to see what they do. And what they did was they created that comic or the manga experience, comic book as an experience in that show. And I think they did really wonderful. Did they follow the story perfectly? No. And that's okay.
What's up, Produce Pete?
So
Pete.
Just to get back to Umai's question, what do you watch anime for, and what genres do you look for? Like, what draws you to it?
I often watch anime for an escape. I started watching anime with Inuyasha. I read a lot of manga for the same reason, actually, is for the escape of the real world.
Entertainment.
So, yeah, entertainment. Like, a lot of the animes that I watch are things that are just, like, fantastical and do not happen in the real world, because I want to experience a new world outside of my own. And there are oftentimes points in animes, especially, where if it gets too close to the real world, I will become disinterested in it. So, I think the only one that I watched that was a little close to life was, there was Psychopaths and Durarara were very, like, kind of based in real world, but they had different enough things happening in those animes that I was like, okay, cool, I will enjoy this. But it really is like, I watch it for an escape. I watch it when I'm like, you know, I don't want to be in this world.
I mean, and like I said, to me, it's the absurdity. And while you were talking, I was sidelong thinking about my favorite animes. Yeah. Right. And and like somebody asked what genre. For me, it's not the genre, because like I've watched everything in anime from comedy to hard action to sci-fi
to drama
to
fantasy
to some of that
isekai
stuff. There's a lot of different anime that I watch that I get different types of enjoyment out of. Yeah. But I'm kind of with you in that I don't like the hyper realistic ones.
Yeah. No.
I don't watch a lot of those. Like, I want the absurdity.
If I want to cry, I will watch, Your Lie in April, but like...
I mean... And... So, like, Ranma 1/2 is one of my favorite animes. Right? And that anime is absolutely 100% absurd. It is great. Okay? It's one of my favorite animes of all time, is Ranma 1/2. Trigun. Yeah, right.
Trigun.
Probably the most realistic anime I truly enjoy is Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. But the rest are bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite animes, have very much been like Fooly Cooly or Kill la Kill, which are very much not safe for kids. But like they're very absurd worlds where you're just like, I have no point of reference on what is happening here, but it's wild.
Right. I think it's why Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon had such staying power.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pokemon too.
Yeah, it's the absurdity of it. So to me, it's not about genre. It's about, is it fun to watch?
I will say there are definitely certain points where I do nope out. Like I don't, and it's been said in the chat. I don't do the fan service of younger characters. Really kind of icks me out, kind of thing. There's
certain of those.
There are lines that I don't like to cross, and there are reasons why those lines are here.
Yeah, there's a few of those that I think that they, again, without getting into the
nitty-gritty,
the distinct cultural differences between how Japan and Japanese writers construct stories and what is
who their target audience
and
is,
who the target audience is and what it's supposed to be. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it is a rabbit hole. Like and it's complex, and I just don't. I'm not going to do that. But there's some stuff that, again, fan service can be okay. Yeah. Right, and I don't necessarily think it's creepy. A lot of it's.
It really depends.
Eyes of the beholder, and I would never. I would never like bust Taylor's chops for noping out of a particular show. Right.
I mean,
or not noping out of a particular show.
Well, and that's the thing is like, Kill la Kill is very much based in a high school. It does have fan service, but it is also an anime that I watched when I was in high school. So like I'm not like going around singing its praises now as a 30-year-old person. I will just say that was one of my favorite animes.
Favorite anime of the spring season? I can't tell you right now. I'm on so much catch up on anime right now.
There's so much.
Yeah, there's so much anime for me to catch up on.
Team Umai, what's your favorite?
Yeah, people rag on Taylor for liking Crystal Skull. And we're back to Crystal Skull.
People like to rag on me. I don't really care. Like, honestly.
And we've come full circle back to Indiana Jones.
It's because how dare I have an opinion? Who cares?
Oh, my. All right, any last questions? We've got about 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions, comments, or stuff like that, drop them in the chat real fast, and we'll try and get to them. Yeah. Don't forget, go to gamers7pnw.com and follow us everywhere. Sub to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch. Join the Discord. Even if you're not local by, you can hang out. Come see us.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like us to chat about.
Fist of the North Star is mwah.
And again, Fist of the North Star,
Beautiful.
absolutely absurd.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Ninja Scroll, absolutely absurd.
Absolutely.
They did a Fist of the North Star live action movie.
I
way
saw
long
that.
ago.
They
Yeah.
also did a video game of it. I have it.
Yep.
JoJo's absolutely absurd.
Oh yeah.
Love it,
So
though.
much good stuff that's absurd there. I love
Good
that.
answer.
Yeah, that could be an interesting concept for an isekai.
Ugh.
Yeah, and again, there's so much there.
I would like to see them remake Inuyasha.
They say you're welcome to your opinion as long as it's the right opinion.
The right opinion is subjective, and I'm not.
She's gonna beat you up,
Listen,
Dog Dad.
here's the thing.
She's gonna beat you
I
up.
do my best to not be problematic. I do my best to make sure that I am not being in any way, shape, or form exclusionary of
Other people's stuff.
other people's stuff. And I will give you the room to have your opinions, but I will also tell you this. I like things because I like things, and I'm allowed to do that.
Yep.
Like the Crystal Skull.
Okay.
So there.
All right, you guys got like 1 more minute to get some comments in or questions if you have them. We'll probably move that fourth topic to maybe next week. The lack of analysis.
Yeah.
So don't forget, again, Chaos Draft this weekend on Sunday.
Mario Kart on Saturday.
Mario Kart on Saturday. Commander Ladder on Friday. Come hang out, folks.
We also do have an announcement going out about our Community Appreciation Day. That's going to be on June 3rd. And just
Holiday cancellation, holiday
I was
closures.
Just going to say, just so you guys know, we are closing in observance of Memorial Day. We have quite a few veterans on our team, as well as
In the community.
Yeah, in the community. So just so you know, Monday we will not be open, but we will be open on Tuesday for our regular hours. I'm basically making it so that Phil can make me very tasty barbecue. That's it.
Yep. All right, folks. We'll see you later. Come see us in the store.
Yeah, have a good day.
Have a wonderful day.
Be safe, be kind.
Bye. And bye, TikTok. We saw
Bye,
you there.
TikTok. Thanks for coming with us today.
Yep.
Appreciate you all. It was a wild ride.
Yes.
Cool.
Are we out?
Drink water.